Hey guys, welcome to Paint Couture Facebook page. I'm Ann Morrow with Pearson Belt Home in Old Town Spring, which is just north of Houston, Texas. When you hop on, tell me where you're watching from and tell me what your weather's like. I'm so excited. Today was in the 90s. Tomorrow the high is supposed to be in the 70s. So it's finally going to be fall here. So I've been waiting for that since last fall. I've been my whole life and I never get used to the hot. So today, thank you guys for joining me. And we are going to paint this secretary, this little secretary here. I got this piece at auction this week. I picked her up. She was a little dirty, as they typically are. I mean, the auction house does a great job cleaning her up, but she's not quite ready for paint when I picked them up. So this particular one had a lot of crazing to it. And what that is in your clear coat finish, there's lots of small cracks in the finish. And you really don't ever want that. So I did sand her down with a palm sander. And then I ran out of juice, so I had to hand sand a little bit of it, just trying to smooth out the flaws. As I did that, I noticed some other problem areas, which is not a big deal. I usually like to go ahead and paint at least one coat first, and then go from there and decide if I need to putty in anything, fill in any chipped spots, anything like that. Also, we're gonna change the hardware. So you guys, we had just your typical hardware here. Not a big fan of it. So I already took all of that off and I'm gonna go ahead and change it out. And it did not come with a key, but luckily I save keys. Then we get other pieces that have extra keys. I always save them because you never know what they're gonna fit. They do fit this particular one, which is a blessing. So I'm super excited we have a key that actually fits this piece, so we can lock it and all that good stuff and unlock it, use it right now for handles. So after I went ahead and sanded it, of course I cleaned it, rinsed it, and now I did do a clear coat of flat. I will tell you that because when I cleaned it, it was a little bit of kind of a tannin bleed, so I knew we'd have an issue there. Hey guys, if you have any questions as we're going through this, make sure you drop them down in the comments and I'll definitely answer when we're over. Also, one thing, so I'm going to show you this. So when you get things, and I buy my auction items now online. I don't go to the auction house first. I do have that option. You can certainly do that at a lot of your auctions. But see, the other one's not opening. I kind of took everything out here, gutted it. There's this little bar. I just need to reattach it. It's not a big deal. So easy fix. So there's always going to be little things that you can fix, and we'll take care of that next week. I did take the insert out. This is the insert, and I took the drawers out so I don't break them right now. Let me turn this down a little bit. All right, and I'm going to paint this later this week and finally have a use for my Klingon. This is the P20. It's got that weird angle, but it can get into all those little crevices, so I'm so excited to use it. So that's what this weird shaped guy is for, getting in those tiny little crevices. So we'll get this painted up for you guys. You don't have to watch me paint in crevices. I think that'd be kind of like watching paint dry. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now we've had my clear coat has dried. Like I said, we use that to keep the tannin from bleeding through. It's just a trick. You can use any stain blocking primer if you want. If you don't have one on hand, you can always use, my preference is the flat top coat. You can also use the satin top coat. The dead flat isn't my favorite because it's still porous and will let the bleed through come through. So I wouldn't use it for this particular application. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, this is my first time. And actually, I'm going to tell you what color we're using. We're using Abundance. Let me get that over here. There you go. We're going to use the Klingon brushes. You guys know I like my zebras, but I wanted to give my Klingons a try because I haven't used them. I have a lot of customers that love them, that buy them from us, but I haven't used it yet. So we're going to be doing that today. And I've got both the oval, the 040, and then I have a little one, the little R12, the little round 12, because I want to get in some of these other areas, and it's easier for me if I use a different brush. All right, so we're going to go ahead, dipping my brush in. I have soaked my Klingon brush. I'm going to take this out, and actually, when we get there, I'll do that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm at a weird angle here, so we're just going to go ahead and take the top. Now the grain is up and down on this top, so, and I'm not really worried about those edges. We'll come back and get those. All right. Okay. All right. Like I said, this is my first time using the oval, or actually any of the Klingons, so pretty cool. Okay. All right, I find my paint, and again, we're using Abundance today on the outside. The inside is going to be exciting, and we'll be doing some of the inside next week. Okay, so this is going to be our first coat or scratch coat. It's a little thin right here because my brush was probably still a little too wet from being soaking in there. I'm just trying not to get too much excess up here. Let's see. So, and again, like I said, this is my first time using this particular brush. So sometimes it's a little bit of a learning feel for me. And I'm not really worried about this. I may put some Would You Bend over that to make it a little fancy. Don't know yet. Let's see. All right. So pretty good so far on the brush. How many of you have Klingons, and how many of you, what Klingon is your favorite that have the Klingon brushes? Like, tell me which one I should be like to die for, the must-have brush of all time. Like, let me know, because I'm always curious. Everybody likes the ovals that I've dealt with in person, but I like to know what you guys like. I always like a shorter handle. That's just because I hold it so tight at the base there. I'm trying to reach. I'm tall, but I may not be that tall. So let's see. So like I said, it's an awkward angle for me up here. Whew. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get that. Trying to get that there. And let's see. I'm gonna get it on this part. It's like, it's so therapeutic to paint. So if you guys haven't, that are hopping on, if you haven't painted yet, what is stopping you? You know what I mean? All right, so let's see. I want to make sure I don't have any kind of, all right, we're looking good on the inside. I want to make sure I didn't have any too much coming through on the inside. All right, so that, I just want to cover up. There's a little bit of the, let me see what I did with my tape. It's over there. So we're gonna go, let me grab a piece of tape real quick, because I want to not get paint on the little felt, because the felt is totally fine on this one, and I don't want to refelt those tops, because that would just not be any fun, because then I'd have to take this side apart, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm just gonna throw in a little bit of tape in the inside here, see if I can get it in there. It's kind of tricky. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape right there right now. I just want to get around that, and then we can remove it. So just want to get around that spot. All right. Perfect. I just wanted to not get that painted because I'm pretty careful about getting it everywhere else. And I may still have to end up taking these out. I just didn't really want to, you know. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna finish painting this front now. No, I don't normally leave all the drawers in, but to get my first coat in, we're gonna go ahead and just go across and get it all on there. We'll open it up, and I'm not really worried about my keyholes that much, because we'll open these up and we'll make sure they don't dry shut. So that one's in there pretty good because it's not attached right now. So, all right, so we're gonna paint. Now you can see I've got maybe a little repair there, but you guys will see what we're gonna do with this guy, and it may not really even matter. All right, let's get some of this on there. Let's see here. I really like this color. I don't know about you guys. I haven't painted with this color yet. So it's a pretty cool tone. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so let's get that on there. And I do like the brush. It's getting the paint, a pretty good amount of paint on there. And again, this is just my first coat, so typically I'm going to do 2 coats to have a good coverage, good solid coverage. Let's see, and we're going over a very dark wood. All right, so let's see, I'm going to tilt it down a little bit. Okay. All right, throw up some hearts if you're loving this color. And let's see, if you had this piece, what color would you paint it? I'm always curious. Sometimes I know exactly what I'm going to do with a piece the minute I see it. Sometimes I don't have a clue. This time I had a little something in mind on this. So the idea came to, I will search Pinterest for some ideas just to get some color combos sometimes, or just kind of the idea of what I've got in my head, just to see, did I lose my mind or what have you, because sometimes I'll throw in some colors that are a little unexpected, and I want to make sure that I haven't completely lost my mind. So I'm I'll tell you what we're doing. So let me show you. We'll be doing this, the Elegance in Flowers transfer on the whole enchilada. So you get an idea what that's going to look like. And this is like 6 sheets in this one piece, okay? So there's what we've got. Bam. It's gonna go on that. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. And I want you guys, all right, so I'm gonna show you the color chart. Okay, there is the Paint Couture color chart. You might want to screenshot it. Okay, got all the colors? Okay, so we're doing Abundance, or yes, Abundance, which is right here, that one. Okay, so take some wild guesses what our inside color is going to be, and we're going to show you that next week. But I want you guys to guess what color I'm going to do on the inside. My theme is kind of an Asian fusion theme, so I want you to guess what color we're doing on the inside. And what I'm going to do is, I've got my Paint Couture order coming tomorrow, and I've got some little goodies coming, and whoever guesses it, and you guys won't know until next week, whoever guesses it, I'm going to give away some samples, and for every guess you guys make, you get a point, and whoever gets the right answer will get 5 points, and we're going to go from there. So we'll do, let's see, how about we draw for that tomorrow at, let's see, tomorrow is Friday. We'll draw tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So I'll do all the tallying and all that good stuff. So tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I'll draw who wins the samples that I get tomorrow. It's going to be some nice ones, some new colors. So I'm pretty excited about that. So get to guessing. Get to sharing, get to guessing. If you share, it gets you 5 points. If you guess the right color, you get 5 points. And just guessing colors, you could have, I guess, 40 guesses. There's 40 colors. So you can just get on to guessing. So I can't wait to see what you guys think we're going to put on the inside of this piece. Because I'm pretty excited about it. So I just can't wait. And I'm going to tell y'all, there is not enough hours in the day to do all the painting I want to do. Like, do y'all have that same problem where you want to paint like everything, but it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, you're like, I got to go to bed now, and you can't finish that project, or you can't even start that project? Yes. I struggle with that all the time. That is my kitchen. I want to paint it so bad, but no time. All right. I'm using this. Whoop. All right. I don't want my drawers to stick shut, so we're just going to go ahead and finish painting these. Thank you, Dustin. And Dustin goes on right after me in about 40 minutes. So I'm excited to see what he's doing. And he already knows what I'm doing on this, because we talk all the time. And we like to kind of compare. I guess I talk a lot about me. I like to talk about my projects, and he is great to talk about with. I don't know if you guys have seen what he's done with his chair. It is so awesome. So I want to take a tour of Dustin's house. Like, Dustin, you need to open up your house for tours. I want to go. I want to go hang out with Dustin. We have so much fun together, y'all. So let's see. We're getting this little top painted up here, because I want to make sure it gets nice and painted. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. So that is my first coat right there. Got a little thin here because it was too watery, so I'll fix that with the second coat. So we're going to go ahead and turn this girl around. Ooh. I love my wheels. Got my wheels at Harbor Freight. So far they have lasted, so they lasted longer than the heat gun from there, but that's okay. It's to be expected. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and put our second coat. Y'all, this, if you haven't tried Paint Couture, this is really one of the smoothest paints. I don't need to water this down. I don't need to spritz it. I just go ahead and paint it. There's no drag. Oh, I gotta tell you guys. So, a gentleman came in last week, and he is doing a cabinet job. And I think this was his first time with Paint Couture. And he told me he loves the paint so much. He's like, it's the best. They are brushing the cabinets, and he said it's like they're spraying them. They're so beautiful. It evens out so well. He has not used a paint that evened out that well, which speaks volumes, because, you know, there's a lot of great paints on the market. And, you know, I used to use, let me see, I used to work for a company that has great cabinet paint. But it's not this easy to use. Okay, so I will say I have used lots of paints for painting cabinets and other things. I've used oil-based, which is a pain in the patootie to clean up, and stinks and dry. It takes forever to dry. Of course, I've used wall paint and all that good stuff, and other enamels from other companies. And Paint Couture takes the cake, y'all. It's one of my favorites. If I want it to be really leveled out and smooth, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let this all dry. It's going to look a little wonky on the as paint dries. Sometimes I have people freak out. Oh my God, it's lighter than I expected, or it starts to dry darker and then it dries out to the total color. That's totally normal. That's how paint is when it dries. Some colors are more obvious than others. So a lot of times your medium colors will start to dry. So you see how it's kind of streaky here? We'll let it dry completely. It'll dry even, I promise you. So never freak out midway. Always finish your project. Go from start to finish. So let's see. So that's the second coat. We're gonna let it dry. And for next week, we'll go ahead and get that pop of color. And we'll decide what our, we're gonna add some gold accents to this, of course. And I'll decide, Dustin and I actually will go over it. Like I said, I like his opinion. But I'm gonna order pulls. Like I said, I didn't like those pulls. These are small. And if my pulls are bigger or smaller than these holes, not a big deal. I can fill them in. So I have to get on that. I'm gonna order them either today or tomorrow. That way they're here and ready to go. That way I know either I'm gonna fill both of these holes, one of the holes, whatever, in. All you need to do is get some wood putty, mud, whatever, fill it in, paint back over it, you're golden. All right, so not a big deal. So you are not ever married to the holes in your piece. You're never married to finding a pull that fits that. So never ever think that. You fill that in, sand it smooth, paint right back over it, and re-drill holes. There are cabinet guides to help you figure out where those holes need to be. I carry pulls, and then I also order from pretty much everywhere. So depending on what the look I'm looking for, like I have a very specific look today. So I will, if I find it on a seller on Etsy, D Lawless, antique hardware, for antiquehardware.com, I believe. Just wherever my search takes me, because I'm going to be really specific. Sometimes pulls can be crazy expensive, sometimes very inexpensive. Keep in mind you do get what you pay for. So I'm trying to think of any other hardware companies. There's a lot out there, and they can get fairly expensive. I'm not a fan of the big box stores because they never have the variety or the colors. Now keep in mind something. Now I've used unlacquered brass on, I don't know if you guys have been on my Instagram, Pearson Bell, Feature Fridays or Transformation Tuesday, either one. I had a big green piece, bright green, and I had really bright brass pulls. Now those are unlacquered pulls, unlacquered brass. Now over time, as people touch them, use them, and all that good stuff, they will patina. So if you don't want the patina and you don't want that brass to dull out over time, then you want to get one that's coated brass. And that's just a tidbit. So if you notice you've got one that's unlacquered brass and maybe a lacquered brass will not change. Unlacquered will change. So it depends on if you want it to patina over time. And I've got a lot of crazy stuff in my background. I used to work for a hardware tile store. So, but you can get your hardware all over. Just do a search. And like I said, I'm specific on what I'm looking for. So far, I think the pulls that I found one set there around $10 a pull. So it's okay. I would like them to be cheaper, but oh well. But I really am picky about what I'm putting on this because I really want it to be a kind of a showstopper when we've got this really beautiful transfer on it. So I'm going to say showstopper, but not overly like, look at me, because this is going to be pretty busy. So they may be small drops. I just don't know yet. So I've got a couple in my carts, and we'll see what we come up with. Hopefully, if I order, we'll have them by next week. And because I'm going to have to putty these. I'm pretty sure I'm going to putty these holes. It's going to be very rare that I'm going to find one that's going to fit. So, by the way, on the top where these have the key where the lock opens and closes, I did put a little tape right there so I wouldn't have to paint over it. I'm not as concerned about painting over this. Like I said, I may put a would you bend molding there. It may be covered up with the transfer, may overlap over that. The hole will still be there, but I'm not as concerned with that as I am about this, because I want to make sure this mechanism works. So if I paint over, it's going to paint it closed, and I don't want that to happen. All right, so you guys, like I said, if you have any questions, drop in the box. Guess your color that we think we're going to do on the inside, and we'll be doing a giveaway. I will announce that 6 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, on Paint Couture and on my page. I'll just make an announcement and I'll contact the winner. And I believe that's it. So again, share, like Sunny and share this post away, and happy painting. We'll see you next time. Catch Dustin next.